What's worse than being single? Being in a relationship where you feel invisible, where the woman sitting across from you looks right through you, where your voice carries no weight, your presence makes no difference, and yet you stay. This is the silent heartbreak men don't talk about. Not the dramatic breakups, not the screaming fights, but the slow erosion of respect. The day she stops listening, the day she stops caring, the day she starts treating you less like a man and more like a background character in her personal movie. Think back. You entered the relationship with fire in your chest. You had energy. You had conviction. You had a spine. But over time, things shifted. Suddenly, you're asking permission to see your own friends. You're apologizing for being tired. You're shrinking just to keep the peace. And you tell yourself, this is love. But deep down, you know it's not. It's survival. It's fear. It's death by 1,000 cuts. And here's the brutal truth. Every time you fold, you don't save the relationship. You bury it. You dig the grave for her attraction. You chip away at her respect. Until one day, there's nothing left but silence. This video is about breaking that silence. About the words, few, precise, lethal, that reset the game instantly. The words women never want to hear. The words they secretly need to hear. Stay with me until the end, because once you learn them, you'll never see her or yourself the same way again. Most men don't notice when the shift happens. At first, it feels subtle. She teases you about something small, and you laugh it off. She tells you to cancel plans with your friends, and you think, it's no big deal. She criticizes the way you drive, the way you dress, even the way you breathe. And instead of standing tall, you shrink a little smaller each time. What began as passion slowly mutates into submission. What started as love begins to feel more like control. And here's the twisted part. You convince yourself it's normal. You convince yourself that love is supposed to hurt, that compromise means surrender, that keeping her happy means losing yourself. You confuse her approval with intimacy, her control with commitment, her demands with love. You wear this like a badge of honor, thinking it makes you a good man. But every step you take down that road isn't closeness. It's self-erasure. I've watched it play out countless times. A man walks into a relationship with shoulders back and a fire in his eyes. 6 months later, he's asking if he's allowed to grab a beer with the guys. A year later, he apologizes for being late from work, even though he's the one paying the bills. 2 years in, he doesn't even recognize himself anymore. The confident man she once admired is gone, replaced by a servant, a shell, a man who says yes before she even finishes the question. She didn't fall in love with that, and deep down, you know it. She didn't choose you because you bent to her will. She chose you because you stood strong, because you had edges, because you had weight. But the moment you surrendered those edges, the moment you let fear replace strength, something vital inside her shut off. Respect evaporated. Desire withered. Love itself began to rot. And here's the cruel paradox. You think these sacrifices save the relationship, but they do the opposite. Every time you beg, every time you bend, every time you smother your instincts to avoid conflict, you don't make her feel secure. You make her feel contempt. She may not say it out loud, but she feels it in her bones. The man she trusted to stand firm has dissolved into someone unworthy of admiration. This isn't romance. It's slow death. It's the erosion of masculinity under the weight of constant tests. And while she might be the one handing out those tests, the true killer is your response. Every weak answer, every preemptive apology, every nervous smile when you should have stood firm. It's like pulling a brick from the foundation of a house. Sooner or later, the whole thing collapses. That's why this message matters. Because until you see it for what it is, you'll keep mistaking weakness for love. You'll keep calling fear devotion. You'll keep wearing chains and calling them commitment. And all the while, her attraction dies, one piece at a time. The only question is how long before there's nothing left to resurrect. If you've ever wondered why her eyes don't shine the way they once did, why her tone feels colder, why her touch seems distant, the answer is simple. The crown. Not a real one made of gold, but the invisible crown she wears on her head when she no longer sees you as her equal. It grows with every test you fail, every time you fold, every moment you choose comfort over strength. And the taller that crown sits, the smaller you become in her eyes. You can see it in her body language, the way she walks ahead of you instead of beside you, the way her words sound more like commands than conversations, the way her eyes drift past you, like you're a piece of furniture she hasn't bothered to throw out yet. She doesn't even need to say it. You can feel it. The crown speaks for her. It says, "I run this kingdom. You exist to serve." But here's the paradox. She doesn't actually want the crown. She doesn't dream of ruling over you. She dreams of meeting someone strong enough to stop her from needing it in the first place. Women test not because they enjoy chaos, but because they're searching. They're searching for a man who won't bend, who won't break, who won't crumble under pressure. Every little jab, every push, every demand is a question. Can I trust you to hold the line? The tragedy is most men fail. They think giving in will calm the storm. They think apologizing, compromising, and giving more ground will finally stop the tests. But it never does. The more ground you give, the more tests you invite. It's like erosion. A cliff doesn't collapse in one day. It crumbles pebble by pebble, wave after wave. That's what happens to your backbone when you keep folding, until one day there's nothing left but a hollow shell that whispers, "Yes, dear," to everything. And here's the brutal twist. She hates you for it. She resents the weakness she created. She despises the man who let her win. It's not fair, but it is reality. She can't respect the man who caves, even when she's the one who pushed him there. So the cycle feeds itself. She tests harder. You fail faster. Her crown grows taller. Your presence shrinks smaller. Most men think this is just how relationships work, that all couples play this exhausting game behind closed doors. Wrong. Dead wrong. Not every man gets crushed under the crown. Some figured out the truth. Some learned how to pass the test by refusing to play it. Some discovered that when you stop chasing approval, the crown falls off on its own. And that's where the real shift begins. Because the moment you understand the crown and the paradox that feeds it, you stop being the victim of her tests. You stop being the servant in her kingdom. You become something else entirely, the man she can finally respect. Now that you understand the crown, it's time to talk about the weapons that knock it off. And these aren't physical weapons. They're words. Sentences so sharp, so disruptive, that they shatter her illusion of control. Words that feel like dynamite to her ego, but medicine to your dignity. The first weapon is one she never expects, telling her she's ordinary. Not in anger, not in cruelty, just calm, matter-of-fact truth. When we first met, I thought you were different. But the more I see, the more I realize you're just like everyone else. Same fears, same drama, same games, predictable. Why does this cut so deep? Because every woman lives with one belief. She's the exception. She's not like the others. She's the rare one, the unique one, the one who can't be replaced. The moment you strip that illusion, she sees herself in the mirror for the first time, and she doesn't like the reflection. I once saw a man use this exact line during an argument. She was shouting about how he didn't appreciate her uniqueness. He stayed calm and said, "Unique? You're repeating the same script as my ex, word for word." She froze, not quiet, frozen, because deep down she knew he was right. The second weapon is even more powerful, indifference to her leaving. Most women throw around threats. "I'm done. I need space. Maybe we should break up," expecting you to panic. That panic is her leverage. But when you flip the script, the crown wobbles. She says, "I'm leaving." You reply, "All right, door's open." She says, "I need space." You shrug, "Take as much as you need. I've got plans anyway." She tries, "My ex messaged me." You smirk, "Great. Maybe you two can work it out." Every single one of these moments is built on the assumption that you fear losing her. When you reveal that you don't, her entire game collapses. It's like she's been betting everything on a royal flush, and you just revealed you weren't even playing the same game. One man told me when his girlfriend pulled the classic, "Maybe we should see other people," he just said, "Brilliant idea. I've had someone in mind for a while." She went silent. Then she scrambled, trying to undo her words, saying she was just testing him. Exactly. She tested. He passed. The third weapon hits her deepest vulnerability, her sexuality. Every woman believes this is her ace, her trump card, the one thing that makes her irreplaceable. When you gently suggest that she's average in bed, not cruelly, not spitefully, but almost casually, it detonates her ego. Say it the way you'd comment on the weather. Honestly, the physical side of our relationship has always been okay. I've had stronger connections before, but not everyone can be exceptional. Then move on, like it wasn't even important. That silence that follows, that's her crown cracking. Because unlike most insults she can brush off, this one lingers. It gnaws at her in the quiet hours of the night. The fourth weapon is turning the comparison game back on her. Women love comparing. My friend's boyfriend takes her on trips. That couple on Instagram looks so in love. But when you flip the script, she can't stand it. Funny, Jake's girlfriend never complains about guys' nights. Sarah doesn't threaten to leave every time she's upset. Maybe I picked the wrong type of woman. Suddenly, the comparisons stop. Why? Because the crown can only survive when she's above you, not when she's measured against others and found lacking. And finally, the agreement method, the deadliest of them all. When she throws an attack disguised as truth, you don't fight. You don't defend. You agree. She says, "Maybe I should find someone who appreciates me." You smile. "You're right. I'll help you pack." She spits. "You're not a real man." You nod. Exactly. A real man wouldn't tolerate this behavior. She sighs. The spark is gone. You reply, "I've felt the same. Better to end it now than waste more time." Why does this work? Because her attacks are designed to provoke a fight. When you refuse to fight, the punch lands on empty air. She expects resistance and instead falls into her own trap. There was a viral video of a woman screaming at her boyfriend in public, calling him pathetic. Instead of defending himself, he said, "You're right. I'm pathetic for staying this long. That ends today." Then he walked away. No fight, no begging, just silence and exit. The crowd gasped because they'd never seen it done before. But every man watching knew. That's power. These weapons are not cruelty. They're clarity. They're not meant to destroy her. They're meant to destroy the crown. They reset the balance. They remind her why she respected you in the first place. Used recklessly, they're toxic. Used correctly, they're the cure. The beauty of these weapons is that they don't just live in theory. They've been tested in the wild, over and over again. Men who dared to use them shocked everyone, sometimes even themselves. I remember watching a clip that spread like wildfire online. A woman was unloading on her boyfriend in the middle of a crowded mall. She called him weak. She called him pathetic. She tore into him like he was a child. Most men would have argued. They would have begged. They would have fought to prove her wrong. Not this guy. He stood calm, nodded, and said, "You're right. I am pathetic for putting up with this, but that ends now." Then he turned and walked away. No shouting, no drama, just a clean exit. The silence in that mall was louder than her voice. The comment section blew up. Half the people said he was cruel. The other half said it was the first time they'd ever seen someone handle it perfectly. Another story comes from a dinner scene. A woman accused her boyfriend of not appreciating how special she was. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't argue. He simply said, "Special? You're repeating the same lines my ex used, word for word. There's nothing special about that." She went quiet. Not embarrassed quiet, stunned quiet, like her brain had short-circuited. That one calm statement did more damage than 100 shouting matches ever could. Then there was the man whose girlfriend tried the old, "I think we should see other people" trick. She expected him to beg, to chase, to reassure her. Instead, he leaned back in his chair and smiled. "Great idea. There's someone I've been meaning to ask out." Her face dropped instantly. The manipulation she thought would tighten her grip ended up snapping it in half. She stammered, tried to backpedal, but the damage was done. He passed the test. She didn't even know she was running. And maybe the most devastating examples are the quiet ones. The men who didn't argue. The men who didn't chase. The men who let her walk out and then lived better without her. She leaves thinking it's punishment. He turns it into freedom. He posts pictures smiling, laughing, living. Suddenly, she shows up to grab her things. Suddenly, she has an emergency. Suddenly, she wants to talk about us. The pattern is predictable, almost scientific. When you stop feeding the crown, it starves. These stories go viral for one reason. They flip the script we've all been taught. Men aren't supposed to walk away. Men aren't supposed to be indifferent. Men aren't supposed to turn her weapons back on her. But when they do, the internet can't look away. Because deep down, every man watching knows he's lived some version of that nightmare. And deep down, every woman watching knows the crown only survives if he stays afraid. That's why these examples hit harder than theory ever could. They prove the weapons work. They show that the crown can crack. And they remind every man watching that respect doesn't come from fear of losing her. It comes from never losing yourself. Once you see these patterns, it's tempting to think women are malicious, that they wake up each morning scheming, planning ways to tear you down. But that's not the truth. The truth is both simpler and more brutal. It's instinct. It's in the wiring. Just like gravity pulls everything down, her nature pulls her to test, to probe, to push. A scorpion doesn't sting because it hates you. It stings because that's what scorpions do. In the same way, a woman doesn't test because she enjoys breaking you. She tests because her biology needs to know. Can you carry the weight? Can you lead without breaking? Can she lean on you when the storm hits? Every sarcastic jab, Every emotional outburst, every manipulative threat is really one silent plea. Please, show me you're stronger than I am. The Stockholm study proved it. Researchers watched couples fight. They measured stress hormones in real time. And what did they find? When men stayed calm, no yelling, no comforting, just steady, the women's stress levels dropped faster. Their bodies literally relaxed when the man didn't break. Think about that. Her biology rewarded his stability, not his softness, not his panic, his stability. But here's the tragedy. Most men fail these tests. They think the path to peace is appeasement. They try to calm her with words. They try to prove themselves with sacrifices. They bend, they fold, they beg. And every time they do, the crown grows heavier on her head. Because the one thing she wanted, the one thing she was searching for, vanished the moment he gave in. She doesn't want to rule over you. She doesn't want to carry the crown. She wants you to be strong enough so she can finally set it down. That's why she keeps testing. That's why she pushes even harder when you fail. Her subconscious is screaming, "Please don't make me the leader. Please don't make me the rock. Please don't make me the one holding this together." But when you crumble, she has no choice. She takes the crown, not out of desire, but out of necessity. And the more she wears it, the more she resents you for forcing her into that role. She loses respect. She loses attraction. She loses the ability to see you as the man she once admired. So stop blaming women for testing. Stop calling them crazy for pushing. Stop acting like you're the victim of some cruel game. They don't even know they're doing it most of the time. It's not calculation. It's instinct. And once you understand that, the entire battlefield changes. You stop taking it personally. You stop reacting. You stop chasing her approval. And instead, you become the calm in the storm. That's when everything shifts. Because her biology doesn't want a man who breaks. It wants a man who stands. Here's the truth. No one tells men. The most powerful position in any relationship isn't being the one who loves more, gives more, or sacrifices more. It's being the one who needs less. Think about it. Every man she's ever dated has needed something from her. Validation, attention, approval, constant reassurance. They crumbled without it. They begged for it. They lived and died by it. But the man who doesn't need any of that, the man who is complete without her, he's the one she can't replace. This is where most men get it backward. They think vulnerability will make her love them more. They believe if they open their wounds, show their insecurities, cry about their struggles, she'll lean in closer. But reality tells a different story. Every time you crumble in her arms, she feels the ground shake beneath her. The protector is suddenly the one who needs protecting. The rock she wanted to lean on turns to sand. Attraction doesn't grow in that moment. It evaporates. I've seen men pour their hearts out about depression, fear, and weakness, thinking it would bond them. 2 weeks later, she's texting her ex. A month later, she's gone. And when asked why, she says the same thing every time. I just couldn't see him as a man anymore. Harsh? Absolutely. Unfair? Maybe. Real? Always. Because she doesn't want to be your therapist. She wants to feel safe enough to collapse in your arms, knowing you won't collapse with her. And here's where the shift happens. When you master emotional indifference, something changes inside her. Suddenly, she starts working to impress you. She starts trying again. She invests more than she has in years. Why? Because for the first time, she doesn't know if she fully has you. For the first time, she feels she could lose you. And paradoxically, that's when she fights hardest to keep you. It's not about games. It's not about cruelty. It's about positioning. When you stop needing her validation, you become validation itself. Validation. When you stop begging for her respect, you command it without words. When you stop chasing her love, she runs after yours. That's the paradox men miss. Needing less doesn't mean caring less. It means being whole. It means knowing that your worth isn't defined by her moods, her approval, or her presence. It means being a man who stands strong, whether she stays or goes. And when you finally embody that, you become the rarest thing she's ever seen. A man who cannot be controlled, cannot be broken, and cannot be replaced. That's the position of power. That's the crown killer. And once you taste it, you'll never go back to begging, folding, or shrinking again. So now you see it, the tests, the crown, the weapons that shatter it. The truth most men never hear until it's too late. And the question is no longer about her, it's about you. Are you willing to keep living as a background character in someone else's story? Are you willing to keep shrinking, apologizing, and calling it love while your soul withers? Or are you ready to step out of the shadows and reclaim the role you were meant to play? Because here's the final twist. Her biggest fear isn't that you'll leave. Her biggest fear is that you'll stay. But stop needing her. That you'll sit across from her one day and feel nothing. Not anger, not jealousy, not even pain. Just calm indifference. That's when the crown doesn't just fall. It disappears. Every man has a choice. Some keep bowing, keep folding, keep choking down their own dignity just to keep the peace. But peace built on weakness is an illusion. It never lasts. It rots from the inside until one day she looks at you and doesn't even remember why she ever respected you. The other choice? You press the red button. You decide today that you'll never beg for validation again. You decide you'll never confuse fear with love again. You decide you'd rather stand tall and risk losing her than crawl on your knees and lose yourself. That one decision flips the script forever. Understand this: women don't fear losing you. They fear you not fearing losing them. They don't fear your anger. They fear your indifference. They don't fear your words. They fear your truth. And once you embrace that truth, the game is over. The tests lose their power. The crown crumbles. So here's my challenge to you. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop wasting years of your life on a stage where you're not even the lead actor. Press the button. Speak the words she dreads but secretly needs. Stand in your strength without apology, without hesitation, without mercy. Because the only thing worse than being the man who speaks the words women fear is being the man who was too afraid to ever speak them. And if you can't remember the last time you felt respected, the last time you felt alive, the last time you felt like a man, then brother, it's time. The red button is right in front of you. Press it.